Alright, let's get it rolling, guys. Krusty Cole here with another Detroit Lions video. Another week, another L we took. It was a rough one against those Minnesota Vikings last week, but let's just jump right into this next game. We got the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins. So this will be our first time playing these guys with this new look name. We'll see how long it lasts for. Hopefully they can get another name outside of just the Washington football team. And these are definitely two of the bottom of the barrel teams over in the NFC this year. You know, both teams are struggling, obviously in different parts of the game and different aspects as far as what they're struggling at. I think there's definitely some offensive efficiencies from the Washington football team, but defensively, I think they're pretty solid. They have their defense. I mean, they give up some stuff here and there, but I actually like what I'm seeing out of the Washington defense for the most part. They usually are playing in close and clutch games. On the flip side, the Lions, I think the whole driving force behind that team right now is they basically go the all ends means is between the Lions offense. Like, their defense is definitely the Achilles heel, and I think all Lions fans would know that by this point. You know, if our offense doesn't put up sufficient numbers, typically our defense isn't able to hold the weight, and that's been the Lions basically for this past century. It's just been that way. We haven't had too much great defenses in a long time, and I'd probably say the last time we had a defense where we could kind of rely on was 2014, but that's another story in itself. So let's just jump right into this game. Keys to victory. I think if we're looking from a defensive standpoint, you know, I think it's going to be the same kind of game plan, you know, try and get some pressure. And definitely, we want to eliminate the run game. I think it'd be better if we try and get them to force them to pass. But yeah, we've been giving up a lot of plays, especially when play action is available. And we saw what happened last week once Dalvin Cook got going, which I anticipated he was going to do. I didn't think it would be that bad because the Vikings dominated us. And the score, I don't even think it was even that close. Like, we got dominated purely from the fact you let the running back get going. It just opens up everything. Our secondary was giving up stuff. We were getting ran on, thrown on. I mean, everything was happening to us. And you know, it's like having a crack in that ship. Once it starts to get going, once it starts pouring, that hole gets bigger and things start collapsing from there. So, number one, defensively, we've got to be able to stop the run against this Washington football team. And offensively, I think being able to try and establish the run, I'm going to say this every week because I think that's the best thing. I don't think Stafford should be out there, you know, throwing like every freaking down. It's good to like try and get some kind of establishment with the run game, and that's also a thing the Lions have struggled with, not only this season, but just throughout the years in general. We haven't had too much of a consistent run game. We'll have a good game here and there, but it just hasn't been consistent, and you have to go all the way back to the Sanders days to say we had a consistent run game, you know, throughout the entirety of a season, or seasons for that matter. So as for who I have winning this game, man, I'm really really stunned on who I want to pick. Cause like, I look at the Washington football team, like, they're not great, but they do some things decently. And when I watch their games, as opposed to the Lions, like, they're always in it. Like, they're competitive. They keep it down to the wire, no matter who they're playing. You don't see these guys going out there and getting blown off the field. On the flip side, with the Lions, just looking at these past 2 weeks, the Vikings, I know we only lost by 14, but it was a lot worse than that. And then the week before, I mean, the Lions kept it close with the Colts for a while, and then in the fourth quarter, they just kind of let the lid off of the soda, so to speak, and everything just exploded from there. It's just like the Lions, they have these tendencies where they start doing these things and they help in their own defeat, or they'll be turning the football over, and you see the Washington football team on the flip side making less mistakes in that regard, and, you know, beating themselves and making it worse for themselves, basically digging their own grave, if you will say. So as for who I have winning this game, like, I want to say the Lions, you know, but it's kind of tough for me to pick them right now. I'm really I feel like they are the better team overall right now, but I mean, Washington doesn't make those mistakes like I've been seeing the Lions make. So it's kind of like one of those, like, do I go with the Lions or do I go with Washington? It's like, my brain is telling me to take the Lions, but my gut is saying the Washington might be favored in this one. But I'm gonna go on my brain. I'm gonna take the Lions. It's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna go down to the wire. I could see either team taking this game right now. It's definitely gonna be a long season for both teams. Obviously I don't see either of these teams making the playoffs, but I guess this is basically a game of, you know, we'll see where they fall in the draft, so to speak. But honestly, I could see this game going either way. I just, like I said, pointing out, I think the Washington football team's defense is pretty stiff. I mean, you got Chase Young up front, you got some other guys. It's not just him up there who generates pressure. But they're also pretty decent in stopping the run. They haven't given up too many bad run plays, and I think just in general their defense isn't too bad. I'd probably say that's the strength of their team, and they've done some stuff offensively too. Don't get me wrong. And then you look on the flip side, they're going against the Detroit Lions defense, so there will definitely be some plays to be had, and I think the Lions can definitely make some plays on offense as well. But I just look at how each team has been playing in just these past weeks in this season as a whole. I'm just seeing the Lions defense at times just, they fall flat. Even looking at week 1 against the Chicago Bears, giving up 21 points in one quarter in the fourth for the Bears to come out and win that game. I mean, obviously we still had a chance to win on the offensive side at the last drive there, and we had an opportunity if we didn't have a drop pass by Swift, but that's another story in itself. But like I said, looking at this game, I just look at what these two teams have been doing these past weeks and just the full season as a whole. I look at the Washington football team. They're a little bit more consistent. I don't think they beat themselves as much, and I think their defense definitely is a tad bit more consistent of what we've been seeing out of the Lions. But I will take the Lions here, but it's going to be a close one. I would not be surprised if Washington were to pull this one out, but I will take the Lions this week. Lions fan, Washington fans, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, go Lions.